Hi guys, Jessica here. Yesterday I was putting together a case study for a friend of mine who is opening up a cafe or a restaurant, right? And what I was doing for him was I was trying to look at a cafe or a restaurant that I know and that is a massive success. Okay, and what I did was kind of delved down into it as to why this place was so successful when it has so many kind of apparent obstacles in its way. And I just want to take some of the learnings from that and share them with you. If any of you kind of have a physical premises where you're trying to create an ambience or you're trying to create an emotional connection with people, because ultimately it's all down to our senses as to why we go to places or how they make you feel and why we keep coming back to them. So the place that I thought was doing really, really well with so many apparent obstacles was a place called Stranfield. Now, I don't know if any of you around from the Dundalk area or the Newry area that would know this place. Stranfield is kind of like a farm. It's a working farm, but they've also put like a restaurant and a shop where they sell all their natural organic produce, and a bit like Avoca where they sell kind of bits and pieces as well, and organic foods and everything like that. But they are doing extremely well. I don't think I've ever been there where it's not packed. And I wanted to know why. Why is this? And this place would have a couple on the surface, like if you were looking for money to set this place up, the obstacles that were there would be massive. Like, if you boil it down, like, the location of the premises is absolutely in the middle of nowhere. It's off one of the busiest roundabouts I think I've ever been on. It's got about like 6 exits off this roundabout, and then it's like one exit that you take a turn. Like, it's the only way you could get there is by car. There's no public transport. It's not on a thoroughfare where you're, around other shops and the like, where there'd be natural foot flow going to. People have to make the conscious decision to get in their car and drive to this place and out of the way. It's not near anything really. The second thing that's kind of going against them, could be said that's going against them, is that they serve absolutely no meat. Right now, they don't advertise themselves as like a vegetarian or go into that niche. They just don't have meat. And when I say that to people, like, do you ever realise that like Stranfield has no meat on their menu? They're kind of like, what? Oh, you're right. Yeah, geez. They don't realise that because they've got the other elements so right. That people, and there's like, men, women, children of all backgrounds and denominations in this place, and it's effectively a vegetarian restaurant. So I wanted to kind of get down into the crux of why the hell is this place doing so well when when it's so out of the way and it doesn't serve meat. And the thing about it is, it became very apparent when I started to look at it from the point of view of a human being's senses. Okay, like, there's 5 senses. There's what? Sight, smell, touch, hearing, and I cannot remember, taste is the other one. Yeah. So when you think about it, when you actually go into a premises, what is the first things that you would notice about it? So first of all, there's the visual. Okay, now Stranfield got this beautifully right. They've embraced their whole organic, natural, comfortable farmyard type of, it's like a farmer's kitchen, that really cozy, it's visually beautiful. With the way they've done it out, they've all the kind of old style kitchen tables and chairs, and there's a big fire, and it's bright and it's airy, and there's all different, when you go into the shop, it's like a Aladdin's cave of beautiful, visually beautiful things, like flower displays or bespoke jewelry or handbags or something. And then of course all the fruit and vegetables laid out, visually stunning. You actually walk up to it and you're like, my god, this is just, you eat it in with your eyes nearly, and it lifts you, takes you out of your head and into a kind of space of, wow, you're admiring all this beauty. So that's the first thing, the visual concept that they have is just stunning. They got that so right. Second is, let me see, sight, the sound of the place. Okay, we'll go with sound, and maybe it's a more subtle one, but it is true that the human beings, us in general, we're very comfortable around sounds of, other people talking in a very relaxed and homey atmosphere. There's no loud music playing. There's no abrasive sound. Everything is softened and muted, and it's more allowing the ambience of people interacting and chatting with each other, and that kind of the whole idea of you can hear like the cups going and all this. It's a very comforting, mellow, relaxed atmosphere, and that's picked up through the audio of the place, where it's all very subdued and very homey and comfortable. Next, the feel of the place. Okay, you go in. Now, Irish women were always freezing. It's really warm, and it's always baffled me, how do they keep it warm? Because effectively what it is a shed that has been, now there's insulation. I was looking at it. There is insulation in the roof and the like, but it's all glass on one side, and then there'd be stonework on the other way, and the roof would be kind of an insulated panel on top. And then of course there's the cooking going on, which is in the middle of this area, where you can kind of see and the sounds and see people going around and cooking and stuff. But I suppose that generates heat as well. But it's very warm. Physically it's very warm, which is important. I've gone into places where I'm freezing and it's awful. You can sit down in these old style chairs like you're sitting in someone's kitchen, and it's really comfortable. The smells, of course, is, again, when you first walk into the shop, the first thing that strikes you is this really intense smell of like the flowers. So all the pollen, and it's just a really lovely sensation. It kind of gives you, it's beautiful. You walk in, you're like, oh, there's a very distinctive smell of this natural produce all around. And, the taste, then of course the food tastes amazing, even though there's no meat on it. Like, it's all like eggs or avocados and toast and all these kind of homies. Then there's like cake and tea and coffee and all this kind of stuff. But it's the combination of all of these elements, right, that they very cleverly, and it must be on purpose, like very cleverly and thoughtfully put together to create. It's not like a logical, oh yes, this place is, it goes deeper than the logic. It pulls you by your heart, nearly, like the feeling of the place invites you in. And when you sit down, you are surrounded by a beautiful place, and that's like crack for the soul. It's like you just love being there. They've carved out, I like to think, a little place in the world where you can sit, and even if you're having a horrible day or a horrible time, you sit in there, and for a moment you kind of have this escapism where you're in a beautiful, gorgeous place. And like, it's just so, it just brings home again how when you go beyond the logic and you go beyond all the regular sensible or thinking things, you really nail down into what actually makes people act. Okay, I'm going way over my time here on these videos, but anyway, that's what I wanted to kind of draw home to you in your business. Even if you've offices, like what ambience do you want to create? Maybe it's not as, if you're, say, an insurance company or an accountancy firm, maybe you want to create security and professionalism and feel that when they're going into you, you're going to be listened to, and, your service is provided. I'm really conscious of the time I'm spending on this now. I'm going to wrap it up now because I won't be able to upload it. But just to kind of get you thinking more about the feeling of a place as opposed to on a whole, and the ambience that you're trying to build as opposed to the different parts. Okay, I better go. Listen, thanks a million for listening, guys, and I shall talk to you tomorrow.